Hello, Happy New Year, and welcome back to Operations with Void. I'm your host, Russian Void, and today we have Ognevoi. We're going to showcase this torpedo destroyer. I guess it's kind of a hybrid, but it's mostly a torpedo destroyer since it only has two sets of guns, front and back, and you have your torpedoes. And the guns, they don't shoot so fast with a 5-second reload. So it's kind of a hybrid where it's more or less worse at both sides. So with that, okay, for the commander skills, we have the standard destroyer skills, and then we have superintendent because it has a smoke and a heal. You're also stuck with Def AA. So one interesting part about this is you get smoke, you get speed boost, you get a heal, and you get defensive AA. So you don't have to choose or swap in between any of them. You just get all of that. However, you only start off with 2 smokes, 2 speed boosts, and 2 heals. So you need superintendent to get to do this standard consumable number that most destroyers have. Unfortunately, it's almost a necessity for this destroyer. So instead of a 10-point captain being good, you really want to start off with a 13-point captain on this destroyer. And today we will be doing Cherry Blossom. So without any further ado, we'll go into battle. So with this battle, we're in a division of 5. Usually I run solo. A lot of times I'm running solo because when I'm on is not when most of the people I know are on, and I will only play a game or 2 on weekdays anyways. But when I do play with a division, we play a little bit differently than when I play solo. And so you can kind of see how we play in a division to actually take care of things quickly. And this is kind of why we can mess around with the games and bring ships that we don't really care about, because even in bad ships we tend to do well. Now at this point I'm not really certain where they're going to be because I don't spawn on the north side very often. Usually I'm spawning on the south side, so I already know where to face north, and so I get in the habit of facing north. But they've already moved to the point where they're already at my line going south of my position, so I should have kept my guns to the right. And so we're getting some shots off, but not as much as if we had both of our guns facing to the right. And this is part of our having only a 5-second reload and only 4 guns total. So if you think about it, maybe like we don't have that much difference in HG DPM than a Hatsuharu, which is saying something. A tier 8 destroyer versus a tier 6 destroyer, both being torpedo boats. And so we're going to go ahead and use one of our things, which is the heal, since we are up there tanking. We're going to go ahead and get that out of the way so it's on cooldown for when we need it again. And our speed boost so that we can get up and find the destroyers, find the cruisers, maybe send some torpedoes out. We do not have, with only a 10.9 kilometer gun range, we're not going to have enough range for either of the Myokos by the time they go out. So not even bother looking at them. Especially since we have teammates, 2 in cruisers, 2 in battleships that will go after those cruisers. And so I'm going to go after the destroyers. Hopefully I'll make it in time for the destroyers spot them and be able to torpedo them. And then there's the Yahagi and the Alba spotted. So our northernmost cruiser, he's going to go up and get some broadsides on there. Whereas I'm going to find the Shiratsuyu and the Hatsuharu. There's the Shiratsuyu. So we're turning. We have torpedoes out. Go ahead and throw some guns out. And so what I'm doing here is I'm trying to bait out the smoke screen so I could use it. But he didn't want to throw out his smoke screen. Now we found the Hatsuharu, so we can throw out torps there. And then we're going to run away, trying to avoid the star shells, the flares. I don't know why they didn't just call them flares. They had to call them star shells. We may or may not hit the Hatsuharu because the engine was hit. And since it's shooting out now, it's permanently detected. And we did get it. So we're using our second heal, since, again, we're right in the thick of things. And we're going to head up towards the spawn for the 2 destroyers that attack in between the retreat and going up to the harbor. So I was still detected there for a moment. That's because there's still a Shiratsuyu and Fubuki. I believe it's a Shiratsuyu and a Fubuki. There's the Fubuki. That's hard to detect. And yep, Shiratsuyu. And this was back when I was updating mods. So I do have several mods. The AA range, the health of my modules, and how much health I can heal back. I haven't played competitively in a while, so I stopped updating the mods. By competitively, I mean clan battles. Ever since I swapped schedules. Work schedules. Oh, we got a torpedo on the Hatsuharu. It's the downside of relying so much on torpedoes. Whereas the other Shiratsu, there we go. We have 4 kills. All 4 of our kills have been destroyers, so we have earned our natural selection. This op Cherry Blossom is really good for earning natural selection in a destroyer because it's really easy to get 4 destroyer kills. Cruisers, it's a bit harder. Battleships, good luck. Oh, actually, battleship, you just need 8 kills. But still, good luck with that. And so, because we can't actually heal anything back and we're pretty low on health, this is the time that we're actually going to go back and use the heal circle. We don't have to be in there for very long, just enough to actually get the heal up. I mean, we're in a destroyer, so our health isn't that low to begin with. And here we're going to use our Def AA just so that we can get some plane kills. The thing is, since you have 2 Fletchers, they get most of the plane kills. Their main guns don't work, but their AA guns work. And so the first wave of enemy planes is usually not an issue because the Fletchers just shoot down everything. Once the Fletchers go in, get themselves killed, then the second wave appears, that's when the AA of the players actually matters. And you see how quickly we gain back all of our HP. That's why you only need to dip in for a little bit in a destroyer before leaving. Cruisers and battleships might have stayed in there longer depending on how much HP they've lost, but destroyers, it's in and out. And using the torpedo time, looking at for the toggle, I realized I wasn't going to be able to throw torpedoes at it, or even get close enough to throw torpedoes at it. So that's why we're just going to move up. We're using the island here, so we don't have to use smoke. I know. I haven't used smoke yet. I haven't forgotten about smoke. I just haven't had a time where I'm sitting still and can sit in the smoke. It's always going and getting into position for the next spawns or the next kills. And see, I'm not a really good player. I'm pretty bad, especially with aiming. But I know the positions to be in. And knowing where to be to get the kills has helped me a lot more than my aiming. Sure, I'm not terrible at aiming, and that's how I can get away with it, but it's, if you know the positions, you can get away with having bad aim. If you know the positions and are good with timing, you can be bad at pretty much everything else and still do well in the match. So here I'm dodging, I was getting out of a sight range for something. I'm just throwing a wall of skill out there. I wasn't quite aiming, just throwing out there to see what hits. Normally I would sit out here and sit with smoke, but everybody's pushing in now. And when I mean everybody, I mean pretty much everybody. So that's why my torpedoes are probably going to be useless, because all of them are going, yeah, they're all benching up over there in the corner, because the bots in the bay, they will congregate towards the closest player. Oh, I got a torpedo hit. And so Stahl over there in his turpets was the closest player, and so they're congregating over closer to him to try and shoot at him. And so that actually allows the rest of us to, on this side, to push into the harbor, because he over there with Alex going up to support him have basically herded the bots over to one side of the base. And so if you see the bots herding over to one side of the base, that means it's time to push in the other side and get up closer, so they can't hide behind the island. And I'm just throwing out torpedoes, hopefully hitting something, but mostly just throwing out torpedoes, because that's what we can do with this ship. The next thing to do would be to go up towards A2, because the closer you get over there, you can actually start spawn camping. They do come on hot. They will start shooting their guns as soon as they come in. And we got another 2 torpedoes on the Alba. And as you notice, we're not shooting at the land installations, mostly because we don't have the range. Your guns need to be able to have the range to elevate and aim high enough onto the land to be able to shoot them. So even though you have a 10-kilometer gun range, you actually won't be able to shoot them until they are maybe 8 kilometers in. You see where I've already swapped to armor piercing? That's because we have the broadside of a cruiser. And a broadside of a Japanese cruiser, even with a destroyer, means citadel ribbons. No. And the next spawn, these spawns are random. They can either be destroyers or cruisers. Hey, knocked out my torpedo tubes. That's not very nice. It says they could be either cruisers or destroyers. And I was going to shoot at the base. I went ahead and swapped to armor pierce and swapped to high explosive. But with a cruiser spawning in is why I swapped back to armor piercing. Because a destroyer with the broadside of a cruiser shooting armor piercing can and often will out DPM the cruiser. You see here we're deep into the harbor. And now since there's no more ships on the board, we can just go ahead and focus on the aerodromes. We have 5 minutes to farm if we wanted to, but we're just going to go ahead and shoot at the aerodromes because why not? Make it faster. We have 7 kills. 7 kills with less than 100k damage. We might have stolen a kill or two. But it's a 5-star since pretty much most everybody survived. 7 kills, 5 Citadel ribbons, and a destroyer. Only 9 hits. We're third on the team, but not by much. And 29k from main battery, 66k from our torpedoes. So as you can see, we lean heavier into torpedoes, and torpedoes are our main damage. But we spread out, and we were going more for destroyers for damage than cruisers, and that helped us get the higher XP even with the lower amount of damage. And so this is running a torpedo boat in Cherry Blossom. If you have any questions or you want a video, let me know. I'm sorry this video came out a day or so late. I completely forgot to bring out a video, so I'll go ahead and upload next week's video so that doesn't happen. With that, I hope you have a wonderful new year, and I hope to see you again next week. Please like if you like this video, thumbs down if you didn't like the video, and go ahead and click that subscribe button if you want to see more.